All right, what's up, Telegram? Hey, I didn't lose power. I'm so happy because I don't know if you guys heard that thunder outside. It's going crazy out there. We have been, here we're in the wet season here in northern Florida. So it's been raining, I would say, minimum 5 days a week for a couple hours each day. And it just seems like after it's rained 4 or 5 days in a row with thunderstorms, it takes a toll on the electrical grid. Maybe different poles are getting struck and stuff. And we have our power goes out for like 2 minutes and comes back on. But I was happy that didn't happen during the stream. All right, you guys have any topics you want to bring up? I've ended the stream on all the other platforms, but I can hang out here for a few minutes and chat it up if you have any things to talk about. While I'm waiting for hands, let's take a look at the stuff that we were talking about today in the Telegram here. Oh, BRICS, this BRICS Bank thing. I just posted this. So BRICS Bank, I guess it says a new development bank. Maybe is it manned by different people from all the central banks of the BRICS countries? I don't know, but BRICS Bank CFO plays down swift move toward common currency. New development bank isn't yet in a position to challenge the global dominance of the dollar. Duh. The new development bank doesn't have any immediate plans for the BRICS group to create a common currency, its vice president and CFO said. The members of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are pushing to conduct more trade between each other in local currencies, but they aren't ready to challenge the global dominance of the dollar. Of course, because you can't just launch a currency out of nothing. You have to have like a financial market behind it. That's ridiculous. These are places, they're developing countries. They don't have the depth of the capital markets. They don't have the traditional rule of law, and not even rule of law. But you know how I've said for a long time, or just quite a few times over the last, say, 6 months, the SEC's enforcement model is through like professional licensing of CFAs and all sorts of other things. So it's not necessarily their enforcement when they take you to court. It's the enforcement through the entire infrastructure of the financial system. I hope that makes sense. And you can't just take the BRICS countries and launch a competitive currency. You just can't do it. You know, the way the US dollar became dominant was through many, many decades of just free market reserve holding. So it was the British sovereign that's what they called it, right? The British pound was the global reserve currency. But the U.S. had become the largest economy in the world by the 1880s, I believe. Might have been 1890 or so. The U.S. was the largest economy in the world, and so it traded a lot with people, and people naturally would accumulate dollars in global international trade. By the time 1945 came around and the U.S. had, they were kind of like the last major economy standing, and people had dollars everywhere. So it was just a natural progression to the dollar from the pound. It wasn't, we're going to create the dollar out of nothing and launch it, and boom, we have these deep, deep capital markets. That's impossible, actually. It's probably, I haven't gameplayed this out in any way, but it's like when you launch an altcoin, the game theory is against you. It's literally against you to be able to launch an altcoin fairly. Because if you do it like Bitcoin did it from zero, you're a fledgling network that can be 51% attacked. So it's not possible to do it like Bitcoin did it anymore. So what do they resort to? They resorted to airdrops. Okay, well, airdrops are centralized. You can't get rid of that centralization. And there will forever be uncertainty. It's almost impossible to launch a coin. I think it's impossible to launch a coin fairly anymore. Bitcoin could do it because it was relatively anonymous. And there was no way then to game proof of work like you could do now. People understand proof of work now, and they are set up. They know the process. Back then, it was just a bunch of hobbyists that, oh, we're going to try doing this proof of work. This looks like cool. This looks like fun. Let's try this. They weren't like thinking we're going to attack it and 51% this network. But now they would. So you can't really launch a proof of work coin from zero anymore. It would just be attacked. So it's kind of the same way with BRICS current, or not the BRICS currency specifically, but trying to launch a new currency from scratch. You just can't do it. You have to naturally be adopted by the marketplace. It has to naturally grow, just like Bitcoin is naturally growing. And how Safe and Nick Szabo, they've all talked about, and Menger, of obviously the Austrians, they talk about the adoption of money, how money, it comes from, being a commodity or whatever, and it comes into circulation as the most saleable good. It's not like it's centrally launched. All right. That won't work. So that's what I think about the BRICS currency. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, the only option that they have would be to do something with gold, like back it with gold. But that has its own problems, because you have to, be able to, you can peg it to gold, sure, but that still doesn't create the financial system around it. It might make it so people want to buy some, but why buy a BRICS currency backed in gold when you can just buy the gold? If there's no financial system behind it, then where is it being held? Is the gold being held in Shanghai? Because if it's being held in Shanghai, then you're trusting the CCP. Is it being held in Durban or whatever, South Africa, Cape Town? I wouldn't trust that for a second. So even a gold-backed currency is not easy to launch. It might be a novelty item. They might get a few people buying in to it, but it'll just be a novelty. So, okay, that's the BRICS currency. Let's see what else we have. Hey, what's up, guys? If you enjoyed that short little clip, check out the full live stream. I'll link it down in the description wherever you're listening to this. You can join me for the live streams on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Telegram, and even on Twitch. You can check out all the places to find the show, bitcoinandmarkets.com/find-us. See you on the next one.